Okay, now it's working. All right, so we're back.
Yay!
We are back. Who's going to start?
You're in a singing mood today.
I know. It's my beautiful Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, we'll have to tell that story someday.
No, we don't.
About why you get to sing Kermit the Frog.
Sorry for saying sorry. Media presents the Purr podcast, the best podcast for feline medicine and surgery with tips, tricks, and updates for the entire veterinary healthcare team. If you're dying to know more about cats, keep on listening. Here are your hosts, Dr. Susan Little, famous cat vet and textbook author, and Dr. Jolle Kirpensteijn, talented surgeon and social media geek.
Hi, this is Dr. Susan Little.
And Dr. Jolle Kirpensteijn. And we're here together in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, yes.
In the city of sin.
Yeah, but that's not why we're here.
No.
Well, that's not why I'm here.
Okay.
I don't want to speak for everybody else, you know.
The tone has been set again. That is not very nice, Dr. Susan.
So why are we here?
We are here because of CES2020.
What does CES stand for, Jolle? Yola's laughing because I pulled this on him yesterday, and he couldn't remember what CES stands for.
The Consumer Electronics Show.
Oh, very good.
I knew it.
You've been studying up?
No, I know.
Yeah.
So, and we are surrounded by all sorts of flyers and things that we've seen. So we've been here 3 days.
Yeah. Now, just a word of caution first, Jolle.
Yep.
Remember, we're trying out a new microphone, and it picks up
every sound.
You're going to hear us swallow coffee and everything.
Yes. No, that's good. Yeah. So one of the things that we picked up at CES was a
microphone.
Yeah. Okay. Look what you do.
Oh.
Okay. Don't do that. So
we shouldn't talk that loud.
And we're very excited because there was this Eureka Park where all the newest tech that is either developed or not developed yet is shown. And there was this Korean pavilion, and there were these guys that sold this microphone for half price. Yeah,
they sold it to us for half price. So it was cheap.
It was cheap,
and we figured, let's give it a try.
Why not? And it also had to do a little bit with the fact that someone of us forgot the microphone.
And it's not me.
Okay, let's not point fingers,
it
but someone forgot to take the microphone.
Yes.
And so we were microphone-less, and so we were kind of scrambling about what should we do, and maybe we should use the lapel microphone or blah, blah, blah. So we're all stressed out about it. And then, just by Zen walking around, we found this Korean company that has this microphone, and it's awesome. And it has a little stand, and it has a little iPhone capture thing. It is really quite amazing.
Yep. So hopefully when everybody listens to this podcast, the sound will be good because...
Yes. And we should... And I can't remember what the make and type of this microphone is, but we should talk about it. I mean,
there is a word on the side. It says Alphoto, ALFOTO. That's what it says on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so that's all good. So I'm very excited. So we have been walking around for 3 days at CES, looked at all the new tech things, mainly looking for pet tech.
Yeah.
So,
and we logged a lot of steps.
We did.
Yeah. How many steps, Jolle?
10,000.
So about 10,000, at least 10,000 a day.
10,000 a day.
Yeah, I know some of you, I can hear some of you out there already going, only 10,000.
I know.
But, in our life where we spend so much time on the road, 10,000 is good. Yep.
And so, like I said, we're surrounded by all sorts of stuff here. And the main purpose of this podcast is to give away the Purr Podcast Tech Awards 2020.
Tech award, yeah.
So
they're much coveted. They're rare.
It is very,
the Purr
very
Podcast
rare.
Tech Award is rare.
It is rare.
People fight to get this award.
There is no money associated with it, but
it's the prestige,
the honor.
Yeah,
the honor of getting this award.
It's up there with Oscars, really.
Yes.
Maybe Emmys even, or Grammys.
Yes,
it's up there.
Yes, we should design a show around it.
First, we should design an actual award.
No, the award is there, and we will. At the end of this podcast, we will tell you which one will win the award. The other thing that we learned was that if you want to go to Eureka Park, once again, where the hottest stuff is shown, don't do that on a Friday.
No, go earlier in the week. Yes, we learned some things. And here's another pro tip.
Yeah.
plan time to get into the Google Home exhibit if you want to do that.
Yes.
Yes, because it's kind of hard to walk up and just get into it.
Yes,
yeah.
so.
Anyway.
Okay, you ready to roll?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I picked out a couple of things and we're going to talk about it. We're probably going to spend quite a lot of time on cat litter.
So it was a real theme, wasn't it? Of all the pet tech stuff we saw.
That's a hot item.
A hot item was cat litter boxes.
And the interesting thing is every year that I've been, this is the third time I'm going, every year there is other hot item. So 2 years ago when I was here, it was like wearables mainly.
Wearables, like GPS trackers.
Trackers everywhere.
Yeah.
And interesting to see that very few of those companies survive because
at least they're not here, yeah.
We are 2 or 3
Yep,
trackers.
only a few pet trackers
and
this
we'll
year.
talk about those too. And the new things there. But cat litter was definitely hot.
Yeah, cat litter boxes were hot. And so you can see that. So it's not just about having a cat litter box, right? So the first sort of high-tech cat litter boxes were the ones that self-cleaned.
We'll talk about it. I mean, when we go to the cat litter
box. Oh, I'm not allowed to talk about cat litter yet?
No, not yet. So as a matter of fact, we'll start with a different thing. So
we can't start with cat litter?
This is a company that designed a smart sliding glass door opener for dogs and cats.
Yeah, but you said the D word.
Yeah, so the exception is there because we're talking about pets.
Okay.
I think once again on this show, except for the cat litter thing, the main focus was the dog.
Not for me.
No, but when the tech things, you will find out.
Oh, you mean in general?
Yes. So the Purr Podcast Award probably will not go to a pure dog techie thing.
I see what you're saying. It could be a dog and cat thing.
Yes. So I give myself the exception to talk about these during this podcast. Okay. So this is a smart sliding glass door opener. How does it work? Do you remember?
This is the one that is motion triggered, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It was motion triggered. And, so I gather the idea is, the cat that wants in and out, and one of our dogs does that too. He wants out and then right away he wants back in.
Yeah, so very irritating.
Yeah, it is a little. So I guess the idea is they can let themselves in and out.
Yes.
So if you've got like a sliding patio door, you can install this.
Yes.
Right? And then so the first question that came up in my mind at least was if the dog can trigger the door with the motion detector to get back in the house, couldn't anything trigger the door?
Yeah, like a burglar. That's what I was saying. A burglar dressed up as a dog or a cat.
Yeah, or where I live, I'd have a whole parade of raccoons coming in the back door.
That would be very good.
Hi,
Mr. Raccoon.
Yeah. So they may have a few kinks.
But no, because they explained it to us.
Oh, did they?
Because the chip activates it. So you can do it by a dog collar. And I think also they were talking, it says coming soon. So right now it doesn't work yet.
Right now.
But I mean, that would be interesting though. So the dog collar or the chip will tell the door. And this is kind of a trend that we see at CES Tech. The chips, kind of universal chips will open things and close things. So this door might be opened by...
And but I can still see a flaw if there's like a tag on the dog's collar. So the dog goes outside and he's in the yard. Burglar comes along and goes,
that's a nice tag.
Yeah, that's a nice tag.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so what do you think about you think the dog would just look at the burglar like, hi?
My dog would.
Yeah, moo. We're talking about moo completely.
And he'd give him his tag if the burglar just gave him like a hot dog. And Moo would hand over his tag. So there are some kinks.
Just to let you know, it is highly configurable. No, I'm not going to say the name.
Yeah.
And then there's integration with smart cameras.
Yeah.
You can transfer it from one door to the other door. So
Which is cool.
It was a pretty cool
gadget. A lot of the stuff that we saw were really cool ideas.
Smart, safe and secure.
But we're not necessarily 100% ready for consumers. But that's the point.
That's the point of
of this show in the Eureka Park. Yeah.
And while we're talking about this, and I know you kind of missed it, but this is the company, we'll talk about other stuff on the company too, but here we have a company that has a pet door that opens up. So now we're not talking about the sliding door, but just a little pet thing where the burglar cannot go through.
So it's a cat flap, essentially.
Yeah. So we don't call it a cat flap, but it's a microchip cat door.
Yeah, but they're cat flaps, essentially. That's what people know them as.
Okay, so it's a microchip cat flap.
Yeah.
And
they've been around for a while.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Microchip,
yes.
Really?
Yeah. They've been around for a while.
So I really like that. Yeah. And so it's app controlled. It's compatible with all common microchips, which I think is great. Collar tags. It scans on entry and exit, so you know how many times
they go in and out, I guess.
You can have a curfew timer on it, which I thought was very interesting.
A what?
Curfew timer. So they can't go out
you can...
in the middle of the night. You can lock it, obviously, and it requires batteries. But I think it's really interesting to have a time controlled. And then you have an app. You know, everything has apps with it. Everything has an app. So, And so, you know, that's one. Those are two things that are controlled in and out. So that was topic number one. Yeah, so I think we'll probably continue to see more kind of refinement and more bells and whistles on these things that let dogs and cats, you know, in and out of your house kind of at their own volition, like, you know, more cameras with them, more ideas of how often they go in and out, which the first like cat flaps never had, right? So those are kind of neat. Next topic, ready? Sure. So this is probably not going to win. You're a little cool on the last two techies things, so I'm not sure that that's going to win. But we have the Mars cat here. And we saw the Mars cat, is a bionic cat. So it's a home robot. It's a little robot cat. That looks like a cat. And we'll put a picture of I don't know, are we allowed to put a picture on the website? Oh, well, they probably have a website that we can link to. We'll find their website and link to it. It's bionic and independent. It says. That's nice because that's what cats are. It walks, runs, sleeps, sits, stretches, bites, nails. Bites its nails? Needs and even buries litter, although it won't produce any waste. That's a plus. A bionic cat that does not produce waste. That's a plus. I mean, it would be very interesting if you have a bionic cat that does produce waste, but that's seems to come in several colors. It might surprise you. It's several colors. It's open source and programmable. So it's kind of meant to be a companion, isn't it? You can make it climb the curtains. I don't think so. It's programmable. Look, there is Bluey. Have you ever seen a blue cat? No. Oh, blue Russian. Well, yeah, you can see blue cats, sure. Pinky. It's kind of flesh color. You have something with flesh color. Yes, as I call it, cadaver color. Cadaver color. Sorry, yeah. Black and white. Yeah. And then it has really big eyes, so it looks very cutie patootie. Yeah. It's a good companion. It says it's interactive, and it can play with you and or your toys. Okay, that's really strange. I know. Because it can feel, hear, and see. Touch its head, chin, or back, and find out what it will react. Probably will purr. I don't know. Does it say that it purrs? It has image recognition. Oh, it has meow sounds. Meow sounds, different, touch sensitive. Interesting. It develops a personality, so it's AI, which is interesting, and then open source. And then obviously you can see the. That's really cool. Yeah, we'll see if we can link to that. It's another. A lot of these are just interesting concepts, right? And it's kind of hard to see. Maybe right now where they go. But we saw robotics were big in general, weren't they? Robotics were big. Yeah. And robotics were big in general. And I have to say that this cat robot reminded me of the little robot that we saw at the last day. The robot dog, was it Aibo? Was that its name? No, it was not a robot dog. It was a little... It looked like an egg that was walking around. That we saw at this show? It was very soft. And you had the Japanese... it was not a Japanese. This is gender bias. We need to talk about gender bias too. There was this Asian girl stroking this robot and falling in love with this robot. I have a video. I'll put the video on. You mean at this event? Yeah. Oh, the little things that looked like if anybody's ever seen Teletubbies, yes, it looked like a Teletubby to me with really big eyes. So they're very cute. That was another response. They were very soft and they respond. Right. That is so funny. So I'll put a video on it, but remind me of that. The other robot that we found was focused on the cat, and tell us a little bit about this one. This is this is the feeding one. Yeah, feeding. Yeah, with the little tail thing. Well, they had two devices. So it looks like a dog bone. Yeah, so this falls into the category of like interactive pet feeders, and so that's also been a big thing. Mm-hmm. And there's all kinds of them already in pet stores. You know, where the
cat has to maybe bat a ball around to make pieces of food fall out, or some very difficult puzzles where the cat has to reach in and, move food through a maze or something like that. So for a lot of cats, they're a really great idea. So I guess this is just taking it to the next level. So it's called a smart robot for your pet.
Yes.
And the idea is to give your pet some activity and like a reward at the same time, because I guess if it follows around and tries to play with this little robot, which apparently you can schedule play times.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Then, your pet cat or dog, I guess, gets rewarded with a treat. So it's kind of an odd, I guess what did you say? It looks like the shape of what would you say?
Yeah, it's like a dog bone.
I guess a dog bone shape.
What are those things called that you use to lift
or a dumbbell.
Dumbbell. That's what it is.
It's kind of dumbbell shaped. And it kind of, and it rolls in, it has, patterns of movement.
Yes.
So you can use an app, of course. Everything gets controlled by an app, right?
Yes. But it also, what I liked about this one was specific for cats, it had this little thingy.
They had a version with kind of a tail with a floppy,
with the fluffy
feathery thing at the end of it. I guess the idea is your cat would want to bat at it or
which
play
is
with
interesting
it.
because I think the cat will be scared shitless of this thing.
Are you allowed to say that on our podcast?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Poo. You're not allowed poo-less.
Poo-less.
But I mean,
a young cat wouldn't be scared.
Really?
A young cat, no, because they're yeah.
So
anyway,
this is really cool. So it's a feeding robot that plays with your pet, and the one thing that we did see, which was on the human side, was this little robot that follows you. It's called Bali.
We saw Bali,
and it
looks like a softball.
It does, a tennis ball. It just follows you, and it does all sorts of.
It follows you around, and I guess you can tell it to do things. Yeah.
I loved it. It was amazing. So
you see a Bali in your future?
Oh yeah,
do you?
Absolutely. I'm going to buy a Bali for sure. So it's really cool. So check out Bali CES and you'll find that detail. Okay. So we're switching over a little bit because this was kind of in the toy area too. This was a bone. It looked like a bone, real bone. It was great. Mm-hmm. And this was also a new techie thing that was coming up, and the dog could chew on it. Mm-hmm. Then there was, because the dog chews on it, the saliva is attached to the little scanner.
Scanner on the bone, I guess.
And then they could measure.
They would do they would measure the pH, wasn't it?
Salivary pH.
Of the salivary pH.
Yeah.
And although the people who were there didn't seem to know a lot about it, but apparently they're hoping there's a correlation between the pH of the dog's saliva and what kind of dental disease it has.
It was disease, temperature. So they said they had data that if the dog had an acidic pH, that there were problems with the dog, and they couldn't tell us exactly what kind of problems.
They were a little.
So there was a difference between alkaline, neutral, and acidic. And neutral is good, of course, because neutral is always good, balanced. And I thought it was really interesting. It looked like a bone. I think that Moo would destroy it within 5 minutes.
He may, like a really dedicated chewing dog, could probably destroy it in 5 minutes, especially since wasn't it designed to have some treats inside of it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So I do worry a little bit about that. Safety is really important with all of these things that would interact with a pet, right?
Yeah.
And so the last thing you would want is for, in this case, a dog, because it's designed for dogs to chew, right? For them to be injured by it. So safety is important.
So it checks the pet's main health data, temperature, pH, and others. I don't know what others are. It warns you through a dedicated app, obviously.
Everything has an app.
And it also allows your dog to play. It probably is quite expensive, so if the dog chews it up, it's probably a very expensive toy to be destroyed by Moo. Mm-hmm. What else does it say? So easy to use, it's a toy, body temperature, PA, heart rate, and O2 saturation. Well, that's pretty good. Periodontal prevention.
That, do you think? How would it tell your dog's heart rate from the dog chewing on it?
I have no idea.
We didn't get a lot of detail on how it. But anyway, it just gives you.
I think it's interesting to have a bone-like thing.
Right. That's the point of all of this stuff, is that it's a lot of these things are in development, right? And it's kind of interesting to see which way some of these companies are thinking. And a lot of the stuff we saw will never come to fruition, but some of it will. No. Right. And it's kind of interesting to see what people are trying to make come to fruition. So
we had a lot of things that focused on how to simulate your dog or cat in the house when you're not there.
Yeah.
One thing I really liked was a cat's workout buddy.
Like an exercise wheel?
It was a huge exercise wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I got little stickers.
Oh, you got stickers with it. That's so cute.
Yeah,
it's a big exercise wheel. And some of you may have seen these because you can buy these now. Yes. If you have room in your house, like, if it fits somewhere. I mean, they're tall. And they do take up some space. And the idea, if you've never seen one, is it's like kind of like the hamster wheel for a cat, right?
Yes.
Only it's big. So the cat gets inside the wheel and starts running. And of course, then just runs like a hamster in a hamster wheel.
Yeah. So weight control through exercise. So we see a fat cat of 9.6 kilos and it becomes a cat of 6.5 kilos, which is still a little bit overweight.
Depends on the cat. Depends on the...
Okay, it's a Maine Coon of 6.5 kilos, so it's okay.
It's a big boned cat.
But then it says exercise IoT, Internet of Things, product for cats overweight.
Yeah.
That's a little translation.
Oh, yeah, but it gets the point across. Yeah. It's the point across. Yeah.
So what I like about it is Internet of Things. So it's not just a wheel. You get an app with it.
Was this the one that had the laser? It had kind of a laser's the wrong word. It had a glowing light.
LED light.
LED light, right?
Yes.
In the wheel track. So if your cat is one that likes to chase like laser pointer light, I guess the idea is it would see this. Now I'm gonna say two things about these types of exercise wheels that are kind of caveats. Yeah. One is that cats either like using them or they don't. So
obviously, and I have a friend that has 5 cats. Oh, there was who I know who said Lappin said that he had 6 cats or 5 cats. There was only one cat that would use it diligently using the wheel. And the rest didn't. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like some people like walking on treadmills. Even though you don't go anywhere. And I guess some cats will like these and some won't. So that's one thing. The other thing is the little caveat about the light that it's chasing. So if you talk to veterinary behaviorists, they say that the cat chases a light or a laser light or whatever because it is simulating the cat hunting for food, right? And the cat should at least sometimes get rewarded for catching it. So if they just perpetually chase something and never catch it.
That's a pretty stupid cat then.
Well, it can't catch the light in the wheel is the point, right? So the cat never catches it.
So you need to have, now they have to develop one that just pops out a treat now and then?
Or I guess some reward.
Yeah.
So at least the behaviorists say it shouldn't be an endlessly futile chase, right? Yeah.
So a couple of things that are important. It has Internet of Things, we said. It has an app. It's automatic. It has weight. Let me see.
What does it
weight
say?
Loss exercise program through exercise.
Yeah.
Okay, that's logical. It has Bluetooth, an LED light we talked about that goes around while the thing is running.
Yeah.
It has an exchange pad. That's
What's
very
an
nice.
exchange
I have
pad?
no idea. So stain-proof
Stain-proof
and
anti-slip attachment. Okay.
Yeah, that's really good. And then it has jewelry. I love that.
Yeah. We saw one that was very gold, didn't we?
The outside was very gold.
Yeah, we saw a very gold one.
It's I really like this.
It's a great idea. Exercise wheels. Yeah, again, if the cat likes them, they are a great idea.
It was a very good idea. So from the exercise, the best thing to do when cats and these are overweight is exercise,
and feed less food.
And let's talk about feed less food by lots of robots that
so
feed the cats.
We did see a lot of now they're instead of calling them automatic feeders, they're more now being called like robot feeders. They don't move around, but I guess
they can. The one that we saw did, the little one.
True, yeah, because that was meant as an interactive one. But we did see a number of these, they would look like a traditional automatic pet feeder.
Yeah.
But so here's my thing with pet feeders.
Okay, but first we need to explain that there's multiple forms and versions. Big ones, small ones.
Yeah. Yep. They would hold various amounts of dry food in their
mainly
container.
Dried, although it's a water feeder too. That was part of Internet of Things.
Okay.
But then the other thing is that you can either make them feed through an app. You can make them feed through a chip, so they recognize a certain dog or not. So there's lots of different variations in here. And now you can go in your pet feed.
So they could control which cat eats out of the feeder, right? You could set it so that only the one cat that you want to eat that kind of food, it recognizes that cat's collar tag or microchip or whatever. Yep. Yeah. So my issue with most of the pet feeders on the market to use them for cats is that they measure out the food. So typically you can ask the feeder, you can set most of these feeders, even the ones that are on the market now. Let's say you can decide, I want to feed my cat Fluffy 4 times a day. So you can tell the feeder it can feed 4 times a day. And you can tell the feeder how much to feed at each feeding, right? But they always measure the food in volume, right? So like by cup or quarter cup or half cup or whatever. And we know from some studies that are published that trying to measure by volume is inaccurate.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Well, if you're trying to use the pet feeder for weight loss by controlling food intake, even like a 10% variation could mean the difference between your cat losing weight or not. Cat, it doesn't take many calories over budget, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but we did finally, so that's one issue.
We walked around and around and around, and you asked this question to every feeder. And
I said, what's the smallest portion of food you can feed? Because a lot of these feeders only go down to about a quarter cup.
They always measure in cups.
They always measure in cups. Yeah. And so for a lot of cat foods, a quarter cup might be close to or most of the cat's daily calories, so they don't measure small enough. Yeah. But we did
at the end,
near the end, we did see one company that said they measure we actually saw 2 companies that measure food in weight. So that's a good thing. They should be measured in grams or ounces. Grams. And we did see one company that said that their feeders can dispense as little as 10 grams of food. That must be like
grams of food. It's like 2
kibbles.
I know.
Yeah.
10 grams of food.
Yeah. They said 10 to 100 grams. Yeah. Now, maybe we don't need...
It was lost in translation.
It might have been a little bit lost in... I mean, people are at this event from all over the world. So, you have to... These people are working very hard when English isn't their first language to communicate with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I found of these things is here. So Smart Pet water feeder. Is that they look beautiful.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have been taken over. It started, I remember, 5 years ago with CES. It was the first one that came out. Now there's a lot of companies and there's a lot of copies.
Yeah. A lot of lookalikes.
You see these copies coming out very, very quickly.
And sometimes there's not much difference between them. So if you're looking for some type of feeding device, for your pet, an interactive feeder is a good idea. If you're looking for a stationary one, like these last ones we were talking about, we need feeders that feed smaller portions of food for cats. It doesn't have to be as small as 10 grams. No. Right? But it'd be nice to have it down around 25 or 50 grams of feeding would be nice. So that's something I would like to see. So any manufacturers of automatic feeders out there, that's what we need for cats.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the end of the first part.
Wow.
It goes so fast.
We have more to go.
I know. And, when we interview people, we're always saying, oh my God, this went so fast. Yeah. Now we're just talking with each other.
And it still went fast. Kind of went faster.
We said, okay, only 20 minutes. And then 50 minutes later, suddenly
we have so much to talk about. And we didn't even really get into litter yet.
No, we didn't talk about your litter.
Yeah. Okay.
Next
episode.
Yes, next episode. Next week.
Probably.
Yeah, so we changed that. We do now every week. So next episode will be cat litter.
Yeah. Some cat litter and more pet tech.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to listen to more poop?
Who's talking poop? Gosh. All right. See you all later. Don't forget to like us, purrpodcast.net.
Like us on Facebook. Give us a nice review. And follow us on social media at Purr Podcast.
And tell your friends. Bye.
Dr. Susan Little is a feline medicine specialist with 2 cat-only hospitals in Ottawa, Canada. She is best known as an international speaker and as the author and editor of 2 textbooks, The Cat, Clinical Medicine and Management, And August's consultations in feline internal medicine. Along with 3 cats, she also admits to owning 2 dogs, and you can follow her on social media with the handle @CatVetSusan. Dr. Jolle Kirpensteijn is a diplomate of the American and European College of Veterinary Surgeons and a big cat fan. His specialties range from surgical oncology and reconstruction to minimally invasive surgery. He is the author of 2 textbooks on basic and reconstructive surgery. Did you know he was allergic to cats? Jolle works currently at Hill's Pet Nutrition. You can follow him on social media with the handle @GVETSX. The opinions of this podcast are those by Dr. Susan Little and Dr. Jolle Kirpensteijn. Veterinary medicine is a complex profession, and often there are multiple diagnostic and therapeutic options for different disease processes. If you're a pet owner with questions, please go to your local veterinarian. If you're a veterinary professional, ask your questions on our Instagram page @PurrPodcast.